Welcome. I am Advocate Bhagyashree Bhosle, working as a lecturer. Today we shall discuss about human rights and women. Woman is known as the better half of a man, and despite of a comprising of a half of the population of the world, women are physically and sexually abused and exploited. Women face the denial of the equal wages, equal rights, and governance, and always experience the subordinate status in the family. So, for the purpose of elimination of all forms of discrimination against women, there are several legislation and conventions passed at a national level as well as international level. Some important provisions are as follows. First of all, we shall see the protection of a woman under the Constitution of India. Provision of the Constitution of India reflect the ideal of a gender equality, whereas Article 14 of the Constitution guarantees the equality to all men and women. Article 15 of the Indian Constitution ensures that the state cannot discriminate against any citizen of India inter alia on the ground of a sex. Likewise, there can be no discrimination on the ground of a sex with regard to access to the shops, public restaurants, hotels, places of a public entertainment, for the use of a wells, tanks, bathing guards, and a public resort, maintained wholly or partly out of the state fund. Then, going a step further to Article 15.3, empower a state to make a special provision for the women and the children. In 1992, the constitution was amended to enable reservation of a seats for the women in a panchayat and municipalities. A similarly move is now afoot to extend such a reservation to the central and state legislation. Article 51A, which deal with the fundamental duties, also contain a provision where by a duty is cast on every citizen of India to renounce the practice which are derogatory to the dignity of a woman. In addition to this, several directive principles of a state policy also seeks to ensure a status of equality for women. Although the directive principles are not enforceable in a court of law, they are nevertheless the fundamental in the governance of the country. Some of these fundamental rights are fundamental duties are as follows. As per Article 13, the state to direct its policy toward securing that all citizens, men and women, equally have the right to an adequate means of a livelihood. Then there is equal pay for equal work for both men and women. That the health and strength of a worker, including women, are not abused. As per Article 42, the state to make a provision for a just and human condition of a work and for the maternity relief. Article 44 provides that the state shall endure, secure a uniform civil code for all its citizens. If they implemented this directive principle would go a long way in establishing a gender equality in a personal matters like marriage, divorce, adoption and guardianship, etc. Then we shall see the role of a judiciary in the protection of a woman's right. In one of the important case law, Air India versus Nargesh Mirza, the Supreme Court struck down the rule made by the Air India under which the service of an air hostess could be terminated on her pregnancy. The court observed that such a rule would obstruct the ordinary course of a human nature and would amount to a query insult to Indian woman hold by interfering with the woman's personal life. In Surinder Kaur versus State of Orissa, there was allegation that victim's husband tortured him for not bringing sufficient dowry. One night, she found engulfed in the flames and was taken to the hospital. A dying declaration was given by her in the presence of two doctors that her husband poured the kerosene on her and set a fire. The appellant was punished by the High Court even though the dying declaration was not corroborated. In the Supreme Court held The Supreme Court held in this case that even an uncorroborated dying declaration is adequate and sufficient enough to procure the conviction in such a case, and the Supreme Court confirmed the punishment of a life imprisonment awarded to the appellant. Then the protection of a woman against the sexual harassment. In the Vishakha and other versus state of Rajasthan, the Supreme Court sought to redress the violation of a right of a working woman under Article 40 and 1521 of the Indian Constitution. By laying down a set of guidelines, the court ensuring a safe working environment for the women. The Supreme Court also stressed that the urgent need for passing the necessary laws for the protection of the right of a working woman. To fill the legislative vacuum in this regard in India for more than 13 long years, the legislative introduced in the parliament the Sexual Harassment of a Women at a Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act was ultimately passed in 2012. Then we shall see the protection of a woman under the National Commission for a Women's Act. The National Commission for Women was set up as a statutory body in January 1992. Under the National Commission for Women 1990, the setup was made for review the constitutional and legal safeguard for a woman, to recommend the remedial legislative measure, to facilitate the redressal of grievances, and to advise the government on all policy matters affecting the women. In keeping this mandate, the Commission initiated various steps to improve the status of a woman and work for the economic empowerment during year under the report. The Commission completed its visits to all the states, union territories and prepared a gender profile to assess the status of a woman and their empowerment. It received a large number of complaints and commissioned suo motu in several cases to provide a speedy justice. It took up the issue of a child marriage, sponsored the legal awareness program, Parivarik Mahila Lok Adalat, and review the laws such as the Dowry Prohibition Act, PCPNDT Act, Indian Penal Code and the National Commission for Women Act to make them more stringent and effective. Then we shall see the protection of a woman under the other laws in India. Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act 1956, the provision of a protection of a woman from the Domestic Violence Act 2005, the Act called as the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1986, the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, the Muslim Women's Protection of a Right on a Divorce Act 1986, the Indian Independence the Indecent Representation of a Woman Prohibition Act 1986, the Commission of a Sati Prevention Act 1987, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. All these acts provide the protection of a woman's right. Then protection of a woman in a workplace. In Factories Act 1948 require the construction of the separate latrines and urinals for a woman. The said act also provide that no woman shall be required to clean, lubricate and adjust any part of a prime mover or any transmission machinery while in a motion. No woman shall be employed in any part of a factory for pressing cotton in which a cotton opener is at work. Section 48 there of the laws lays down that every factory wherein more than 30 women workers are employed, there shall be provided and maintained a suitable room for the use of the children under the age of a 6 year of a such a woman. Then we shall see the Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Provide the equal remuneration for the equal work to male and female worker for the performing works of a similar nature and prohibit the discrimination in a matter of a recruitment of a men and women. It may next to be noted that as per a section 4 of a Maternity Benefit Act 1961, no woman shall work in any establishment during 6 weeks immediately following the day of her pregnancy. A woman shall not be required to do any job of a arduous nature which involve the long hours of a standing or any task which is likely to interfere with her pregnancy. The said act further lays down that the pregnant mother is entitled to 12 weeks leave with fully paid, that is a 6 week before the birth of a child and 6 weeks after the birth of a child. Further, some if she work at least 80 days during the period of 1 year, she is entitled to full pay leave even in the event of a miscarriage. Then we shall see the provision of Indian Evidence Act 1872. As per the section 114, presumption as to absence of a consent in a certain prosecution for a rape. In section 376 of the Indian Penal Code, where the sexual intercourse by the accused is proved and the question is whether it was without the consent of the woman alleged to have been raped, and she stated in her evidence before the court that she did not consent, the court shall presume that she did not consent. There are a certain provision regarding the protection of a woman's right in Indian Penal Code also. Then we shall see the provision of a Code of a Civil Procedure 1973. Code of a Civil Procedure requires that no place or apartment which is in occupation of a female and who is not the person to be arrested shall be searched by any police officer, etc., before giving a notice to the female occupier thereof that she is at liberty to withdraw therefrom. Then as per the section 100 subsection 3 of the Code of a Civil Procedure, if a female is reasonably suspected of concealing about her person any article for which search can be made, such shall only be conducted by another woman with a strict regard of a decency. Then we shall see the another provision. Every woman under arrest is entitled to get a free legal service, and it is a duty of the court before whom such a arrested person is produced that she is entitled to get a free legal service. Then assault on or a use of a criminal force against any woman by a man with the intention of outraging her modesty is made punishable with imprisonment up to 2 years and fine or both. It may also be mentioned there that if any person induce a minor girl under the age of 18 years to go from any place with the intention to elect the intercourse, such a person is liable to be punished with the imprisonment. Even the importation of a minor girl from a foreign country for a forced or seduced or to elect the intercourse is a punished with the imprisonment up to 10 years beside the fine. Then buying or selling a girl who is a minor, that is under the age of 18 years, for the purpose of a prostitution is a punishable with the imprisonment for a 10 year and a fine. In this way, there are several enactments and a provision contain a protective provision relating to the women in India.